कैट 2024 में अच्छी परसेंटाइल लाने के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है आप मॉक्स देना स्टार्ट करो एंड फाइनलाइज योर अटेम्प्ट स्ट्रैटेजी। कैट एग्जाम के लिए जितना इंपॉर्टेंट प्रिपरेशन होता है उतनी ही इंपॉर्टेंट होती है आपकी राइट अटेम्प्ट स्ट्रैटेजी। याद रखना एक लिमिटेड टाइम एग्जाम होता है, इसलिए हार्ड वर्क एंड स्मार्ट वर्क इक्वली मैटर। यू नीड नॉट अटेम्प्ट ऑल द क्वेश्चंस इन द पेपर बट यू नीड टू अटेम्प्ट द पेपर वेरी स्मार्टली। सो इन दिस वीडियो आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू अबाउट डिफरेंट अटेम्प्ट स्ट्रैटेजीज अक्रॉस ईच सेक्शन दैट डिफरेंट टॉपर्स हैव यूज्ड। बहुत सारे वेरिएशंस बताऊंगा। योर वर्क is to now sit down with a notebook, note down those attempt strategies and find out which one is the most convenient for you. The way that you can find out is attempt mocks with those attempt strategies, at least 2-3 mock with each of the attempt strategies and find out which one is giving you the best result and you are feeling the most comfortable with. So start करते हैं verbal की attempt strategy से and यहाँ broadly 2 parts है, बहुत सारे सब parts होने वाले हैं but broadly 2 parts है. One is where I will prioritize the attempts over accuracy and second one where I will prioritize accuracy over attempts. So let's start with attempts over accuracy, and this is a strategy that I followed. I had noticed that I was not able to increase my accuracy beyond a certain point in the verbal paper. So what I did is I increased the number of attempts and noticed that my accuracy remained the same, which led to a very good percentile. And this strategy really worked for me in the CAT paper where I scored 80 out of 102 marks. So accuracy had also improved along with the number of attempts. So in this strategy, when I have to solve almost all the questions, one thing is for sure that I cannot leave any RC passage. I have to solve all the RC passages, and what I used to do was solve all the RC passages sequentially. As soon as it pops up on my screen, I will start solving it. So which means I will solve all the RC passages first and then the verbal ability question. The only time that I will leave an RC passage was used to be a case where I read the first paragraph and after that I did not understand that particular paragraph. The writing style is very difficult to interpret, and that's when I will leave that RC, go and attempt the verbal ability first, and then at the end of the time I will come to that RC, whatever time is remaining, will read the passage very quickly and try to attempt as many questions as possible there. Only and only when the passage is very difficult to read. But in this strategy, if you think that your mind is getting fatigued by reading a lot, then what you need to do is read the first paragraph of the RC. If it's written in a convenient language, convenient tone, then solve that RC. Otherwise, move to the verbal ability section. So what you have to do is solve 1 or 2 RC maybe, then go to verbal ability section, solve some questions there, come back to another RC, then go back again to verbal ability questions, maybe the parajumbles, then come back again to the RC. So you have to keep switching because obviously reading RC requires a lot of focus. Your mind gets fatigued in reading those long paragraphs. What happens in verbal abilities, you read a small paragraph, then you solve the question, so it always remains active. You can use this strategy as well. Whatever RC you feel you can attempt first, whichever is the easiest to read RC. Never look at the questions of the RC. Just make sure you do this. You never look at the questions of the RC first. You just look at the writing style. If it is convenient, do that first. Go to verbal ability, come back to RC. This is the strategy you need to follow if your mind gets fatigued by reading a lot. Next strategy is accuracy over attempts, and here what I need to do is still attempt at least 17-18 questions out of 24, which means I can afford to skip at least one RC and maybe some of the parajumble questions. Here what you need to do is read through the RC, skim through the RCs and understand which is that RC that you are not comfortable with the subject. Obviously you have to read the first 2 lines of the first paragraph and understand which tone of writing or the subject you are not comfortable with and only skip that RC. In our time what used to happen was we used to have some RCs with 6 questions, some RCs with 4 questions. I made sure that I will never skip any RC with 6 questions because it's a very big risk. So in case you also face a similar situation, different RCs with different number of questions, then always try to skip those RCs which have less number of questions. So to summarize it, 2 broad strategies. First one is attempts over accuracy, second one is accuracy over attempts. In the first strategy, number of attempts will be around 22 to 24 attempts. In the second one, attempts will be around 17 to 18 attempts. In the first strategy, your accuracy will be around 70% and in the second one, it will be around 85%. Try to achieve these accuracy numbers. Finally, in the first strategy, your attempt will look like 4 RCs plus rest of the verbal questions or 2 RCs plus verbal questions plus 1 RC plus verbal questions again plus 1 RC. And in the second strategy, your attempt will look like 3 RCs plus rest of the verbal questions, or it will look like 2 RCs plus verbal question, then 1 RC. And before we move to LRDI, you have to understand mocks देना बहुत important है to score the top percentile in CAT, and it is very essential कि आप mock test देना शुरू करो even if you have not completed the syllabus. And let me tell you here, iQuanta ने एक free all India mock test organize किया है which is live from 12th July to 15th of July. This is the iQuanta CAT 1.0 and there are prizes like iPad for the top ranker and rewards worth 3 lakh for top 50 rankers. So अभी भी अगर आपके पास टाइम है आप ये टेस्ट अटेम्प्ट कर सकते हो. अगर बात करें iCAT मॉक्स के फीचर्स की तो ये इंडिया का फर्स्ट AI-based मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज है which will help you reduce your analysis effort at least by 3 times. So once you register here, log in on the site, then you can start the mock as well and there you can fill all your details. आपकी क्या पास academics है, work experience कितना है, you can set your target percentile as well. आप कौन सी percentile target कर रहे हो, 99.5, 99.6 and based on that you will get a potential list of B schools that you can convert. आप यहाँ पर देख सकते हो मेरी प्रोफाइल के अकॉर्डिंग 99.5 पे मैं कोई भी IIM A B C कन्वर्ट नहीं कर पाऊंगा which is absolutely correct. And if I score maybe 99.7 I can convert IIM Calcutta but not IIM Ahmedabad and Bangalore which is also correct. And if I get 99.9 then I can convert all the colleges. इसके बाद आप मॉक स्टार्ट कर लो एंड मॉक के बाद एरर ट्रैकर के थ्रू यू कैन गेट अ डिटेल्ड एनालिसिस कि आपने कितने आंसर सही किए, कितने गलत किए एंड गलत क्यों किए. So you can get actionable feedbacks and resources to score better in your next mock. Apart from this, you also get textual and video solution for not only the full length mocks but also for the sectionals which are very important to improve in individual sections as well. iCAT के mock test series में आपको 35 full length mocks and 45 sectionals मिलेंगे. अगर आपको mock की detailed analysis करनी है and want to know where you stand, then you can definitely attempt this free mock if you still have time. And अगर आप register करना चाहते हो, I will put the link in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Do check it out from there. Now coming to LRDI, here first you have to decide what is your target number of set. In how many minutes are you able to solve a set? This is a very important metric because suppose your appetite is 1 set per exam and you are targeting 2 or 3 sets in your exam, then it will become a mess. For example, you will start solving a set, see that it's taking a lot of time, you will switch to the other set, see that one is also taking a lot of time, then keep switching between sets and that one set that you could have solved, you will mess that up as well. A lot of candidates who are starting their preparation, who start their exams, do this thing only. They keep switching between sets and ultimately they are not even able to solve one set completely. Suppose you are taking 25 minutes to solve a particular set, so your target becomes 1 set out of 4. Now what you have to do is be very careful in selecting that set. You can spend at least 10 minutes in navigating and screening through the 4 sets, and once you understand which is the easiest set that you will be comfortable with, start solving that. Because your target is 1 set, try to complete that set in the remaining time. Maximum 10 minutes it should take to screen all the 4 sets, and then you will have 30 minutes with you in which you can easily solve 1 set. Now suppose you can solve sets within 15 minutes, so obviously 2 or 3 sets become your target, and now your strategy entirely changes because now you need to skip only 1 set, which means that you do not need to screen the entire paper at first. If you read a particular set and you find that comfortable, you think that you have solved similar sets in the past, solve it then and there, because you just need to skip 1 set. And even if you're screening the entire paper, do not mark sequence that this will be the first set, this will be the second set, this will be the third set. Only choose that set which you're not going to attempt in the paper, which you think is very difficult. Just leave that set aside, and maybe you can select the first set that you want to start the paper with, and the second or the third set you can just interchange. You don't need to think that much. But yes, whenever you find a comfortable set, solve it then and there. Do not need to screen the entire paper first, waste time over there, and then start solving the sets. So the way that I used to attempt the LRDI paper was, we used to have 8 questions at that point of time, and my target was 5 sets, and if the paper is easy then 6 sets. I knew beyond 6 sets it will become very difficult in any paper, and that's why what I used to do was, while screening the paper, I used to mark the 7th and the 8th set that I'm definitely not going to attempt. While screening the paper, if there was any set that I was very comfortable with, then I used to solve it then and there itself. So first and second set was also kind of sorted, 7th and 8th set was also sorted that I'm not going to attempt those, and rest of the sets I can change the sequence depending on how the exam is going. I can change the sequence and attempt it accordingly. Remember, in LRDI, beyond 3-4 minutes, if you're not able to move ahead in a set, if you're not able to fill any point in the table, then just skip that set. Do not let your ego come in between, and also do not think that you've wasted 3-4 minutes on a set, but you can save at least 5-6 minutes by not solving that set. If you're able to solve that, if you are able to fill the tables, then okay, you can keep going. But if you think that you are completely stuck in a set, please leave that. Even if you have wasted 4-5 minutes, it's completely fine. That is the right strategy. You have to learn the art of letting go. Next, coming to the quant paper, the most common strategy that I've seen people use is the round 1, round 2, round 3 strategy, or what some people also call the ABC strategy. What you need to do here is, in round 1, you will attempt all the easy questions that you have done in the past, and you know that you can comfortably solve it within 90 to 120 seconds maximum. Round 2 questions will be those where you are comfortable with the topic, but you have not solved similar problems in the past, but you kind of know that you will be able to solve it within 180 seconds. And while solving the round 1 questions, while you are screening the paper, you will mark for review those questions which you are going to leave for round 2. And all the questions that are marked for review, you will attempt in round 2. And once you complete round 1 and round 2 questions, only then you will go to round 3 if you still have time left. Obviously, these are questions which are very difficult, you're not comfortable with the topic, and it might take you more than 3 minutes as well. That's why a lot of people after round 2 do not find time to solve any of the round 3 questions, and it's perfectly fine. So the distribution of questions across round 1, round 2 and round 3 will depend on the nature of paper as well, but usually a well prepared and a good candidate will try to attempt at least 40% of the paper in round 1. If you are just starting your mocks, then you can try to think about 25% of paper in round 1, which is around 6 questions, and in round 2 obviously will depend on the nature of paper again, which is, if it's an easy paper, maybe you are attempting 70-80% of the paper till round 2. In case it's a difficult paper, maybe 50-60% you are attempting till round 2. So my quant strategy used to be a bit different, and probably you can use it if your strength is quant. My strength used to be the quant section, so what I decided was I will merge round 1 and round 2, which means if there's possibly a question that I have not solved before, but I think I can solve it within 150 seconds or so, or maybe within the stipulated time, then I will go ahead and solve it then and there. Only the questions which I'm absolutely not able to solve, I will leave it for the next round if I'm able to come back to it. Which means out of the 34 questions, if it's an easy paper, I used to attempt almost 24-25 questions in the first screening itself, and if it's a difficult paper, I used to attempt 17-18 questions in the first screening itself, and in the second round I used to solve the rest of the question. If it's a very difficult paper, then probably I will end up attempting 20, 21, 22 questions. If it's an easy paper, I will attempt 28 to almost 32 questions. So because quant was my strength, and I knew that I will be able to attempt most of the questions if I start solving it, that's why I use this strategy. If you think your strength lies in the quant section, then you can use this strategy. Try it in your mocks if it's working for you. Merge round 1 and round 2. If you're able to solve any question, solve it then and there. And finally, there is some strategy that I heard from some 99 percentiles, some of my batchmates, but I could never think about such a strategy, but you can obviously try it, and that was that they used to screen the entire paper first and mark for review those questions that they are going to solve, and after screening the entire paper first, they will not solve any question before screening the entire paper, and after they have screened it, they will solve only those questions which they have marked for review. This was a strategy that never worked for me, and I could not even think about it, but you can try it in one of your mocks in case it is working for you. Usually I think this happens when you think that you will not be able to judge the question in the first attempt, and you take a little bit more time to judge those questions. Maybe you can screen the entire paper, find out the easy questions so that you do not waste a lot of time, and in round 1 itself you end up wasting a lot of time and do not reach the easy questions at the end. It might happen for some people. For those people, maybe screening the entire paper first can be advantageous, but you can test it for yourself. I'm not sure about this particular strategy. I never used it and never even tried it in my mocks. So this was about the different attempt strategies that you can use for the CAT exam. Hope you start experimenting with them and finalize your strategy using the mocks. It is very important, and the next couple of videos, obviously it's going to be on the mocks, how you analyze the mocks, how you improve your score after attempting those mocks, and all those areas will be covered because it's the last push that you have to give for the CAT exam. So do subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and see you in the next one.